Any health-related information on the following show provides general information only. Content presented on any show by any host or guest should not be substituted for a doctor's advice. Always consult your physician before beginning any new diet, exercise, or treatment program.
Welcome to Accelerated Health with Sara Banta. I'm a busy wife, mom of 3, and an NANP certified supplement professional, but that's not all. I'm also the founder of the multi-award winning Accelerated Health products, a brand unlike any other. We offer innovative, natural, scalar enhanced supplements to optimize your health. And this podcast isn't just a source of information, it's a community for you. We're all here to learn and grow on our health journeys. We're all at different spots, but the whole goal is to continue moving forward. And these podcasts are the springboard to learning, and the free group coaching on Telegram is where we continue learning together. You can ask your questions. I post tips and tools to deepen your health, and you will continue to stay motivated in moving forward on this journey, because that's the whole goal, right? And here's what you can expect. New episodes every Monday and Tuesday with in-depth health discussions and expert guests. On Thursdays, I post hot topics that are in the news to keep things interesting, and then a follow-up on daily coaching in the free health group coaching on Telegram. That's a supportive space where you can ask your questions and connect with others. And I also am not censored on Telegram, which is amazing. And if you've thought about detoxing, well, I've created over 10 unique, easy detox cleanse programs to help reset your body while feeling great. Most of you have thought about detoxing. You're scared, the detox flu symptoms, which is a real thing. But what I do is I synergistically work with the supplements to make you feel great day one. Take the detox quiz. On my website is the link at SaraBantaHealth.com, and you can find the right one that is for you. And if you don't want to start with a cleanse, but you just want to start with some supplements but don't know what to start with, you can complete my health goals form for your free supplement protocol that is personalized just from me to you, and that will be a way to get you started with the right supplements. I'm also happy to look at the supplements you're taking and let you know if you need them, if they're good, if they're helpful, if they're not, which a lot of supplements are. So taking the first few steps with your health will change your life forever. And I'm here to help you at every step of the way. Today, we are talking about studying smarter, not harder, and supplements that can help supercharge your concentration and memory. Well, I don't know if you've noticed, whether you're a student, young, or you're just having a hard time with brain fog and you're in your mid-30s, 40s, or 50s. Well, that is becoming a real thing. Many students today are struggling with concentration issues, and it's become increasingly common. I've seen students distracted, unable to focus in their studies. They're leaning on Ritalin, some medications. A lot of people are on the anti-anxiety and depression because their mood is causing issues with their concentration. And there's this constant barrage of notifications from your phones, the pressure to multitask, and our brains just can't handle it, right? That attention in class is not lasting, and the teachers are complaining that your kid can't focus, right? Does this sound familiar? Well, concentration problems lead to lower grades, increased stress levels, and a general feeling of being overwhelmed and then depressed because you don't know what to do about it, or you're failing in school and you don't feel like you're in control. So it's important to address these issues and help the students improve their focus to succeed academically, but then also later in life. I was talking to a friend this morning, and she's reading a book about the toxins in the world, about the food supply, and how it affects the brain and overall life and longevity and depression. And she goes, Sara, I don't know what I would have done without you. You have led me every step of the way over the last 20 years to do the right thing. And I don't do everything perfect, but my God, I'm in such a better place than I would be if I didn't follow what you told me to do. And then a person in her life came up that has mood issues and is depressed. And guess what? His diet is not good, full of processed foods, probably drinking too much, not exercising, all of those things. And you feel lost. It's like, where does someone like that start? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today, because there is a place to start regardless of where you are in your health journey. But first, let's talk about the causes of that declined concentration. Number one, stress, right? When you're stressed, your brain can only focus on one thing at a time. And the world is more stressful than ever. Financial worries, political instability, global anxieties, and then there's this constant stress is causing the mood disorders, the brain fog, ADHD. So you could be depressed or anxious, which is also going to cause an inability to concentrate, right? Then you have the excess sugar and processed food consumption. Diets high in sugar and processed foods cause those blood sugars to spike, mood swings, ADHD, cognitive decline. I'll never forget when I was a young girl, and this was before my mom knew anything about diet, and still doesn't really care about it, but she knew enough to tell me that I couldn't have too much sugar because I would be bouncing off the walls. My two sisters were fine, which is so interesting because now I'm the one that has more of a blood sugar sensitivity. Like I will be reactive to sugar more so than my sisters. That's just part of the genetics, and I was the unlucky one. But she knew to tell me to stay away from the sugar back then. That was when it was real sugar, not filled with this artificial sweeteners, the corn syrup, all of these other ingredients that make it a time bomb, right? And now our kids are being loaded with these artificial ingredients, the seed oils, the sugar, the corn syrup, and the GMOs, glyphosate, all of these things in that processed food bomb that is creating such neuro issues and physical issues, obesity, insulin resistance, fatty liver, but ADHD, depression, anxiety, and eventually it's going to lead to dementia and Alzheimer's when you get older. So not just the processed foods, but you have a full degradation of our food supply. Vegetable oils, the glyphosate, fluoridated water. I just did a talk on fluoride in the water, that the government is finally noticing that fluoride can cause low IQ in your children. And this is what we're drinking every day. We have to drink water to survive, more so than food. And we're being forced to either filter that water, which fluoride is very difficult to filter out of water, or drink it. And so it's a big deal. That on top of the GMOs, all of that, it's all affecting our brain function. GMOs in non-organic food disrupt the gut, making it harder for the body to detox, leading to a compromised immune system, brain fog, cognitive decline, and reduced mental performance. You've got leaky gut. This is where the intestinal walls allow the foreign particles to go into the bloodstream, triggering inflammation and impact your overall brain function through that gut-brain axis. They are talking. The gut and the brain are talking. And when the gut's messed up, the brain's messed up. This will cause the production of crucial neurotransmitters like serotonin, dopamine, GABA. GABA calms us down, leading to poor concentration and cognitive performance. So you've got to take care of your gut if you're going to take care of your brain. Now, something that people don't talk about are the oxalates. These are found in healthy foods like spinach, almonds, berries. They can actually accumulate in tissues and organs, affecting the brain, causing issues like poor concentration, mental fatigue, mood problems, memory issues, and even depression and anxiety. Then you have the sulfur group. The sulfur group is the healthy cruciferous vegetables. And a lot of women are taking concentrated sulfur in that DIM supplement to help with estrogen dominance. Well, that might be backfiring on those women, but it's also causing issues with your brain. Because of glyphosate and the spike protein exposure, the detox pathways are compromised. So our body's not able to detox the sulfur the way it's supposed to. So those sulfur-rich foods and even supplements like glutathione and NAC can now cause detox pathway blockages instead of helping detox, leading to increased histamine reactions, which will cause allergies, brain inflammation, mood swings, dizziness, insomnia. All those things are going to affect your brain and your concentration. the amyloid proteins. So this was not something talked about when I was a child because it wasn't an issue. I ate a ton of chicken. I got straight A's. Not a big deal, right? Well, these amyloid proteins are in chicken, pork, conventionally raised beef. What they disrupt the gut. They contribute to autoimmune diseases and brain fog. They eventually will lead to Alzheimer's and dementia, but they're misfolded proteins and they can't get broken down into those amino acids to feed our muscles, feed our brain, feed our hair, our nails, all of those things. So they're not even doing you that much good. And they're full of those PUFAs, those linoleic inflammatory fatty acids that are also going to wreak havoc in the body. Histamines. And I just had a family member contact me yesterday saying, my son is having allergies. What's going on? Never had this issue before. Well, histamines have become an issue for those who have never had that issue before. And we need them, but exaggerated histamine responses have caused headaches, anxiety, concentration issues, mood swings, digestive problems, and more. And more people have histamine intolerance due to the spike protein, due to the food supply, the toxins. Our bucket's full. Our bucket's full of these toxins, and the liver and the system in the body says, I give up. I can't do this anymore. Foods high in histamine, there are some of the healthy ones. Well, fermented foods, are you drinking your kombucha? Dairy, bone broth, bananas, avocados, and then alcohol, but they can make things worse. Now, the spike protein, I've mentioned this, has been linked to mental health disorders, increasing depression, insulin resistance, inflammation, and that's away from the additional stress and toxins that we're talking about. So just over the last 5 years, this has made everything so much worse. A teacher friend of mine who teaches fourth grade said that 24 out of 25 of her children in her class were on either an anti-anxiety, antidepressant, or ADHD medication. 10-year-olds, right? So number one, parents out there, try the natural solutions first before you just dump on the medication, because they all have side effects, right? Okay, so another reason, low dopamine levels. So we are in an addictive society. We've got gambling, social media, vaping. They all lower that baseline of dopamine. So you need more of the substance or the behavior to get to that regular normal level. And this is going to lead to cognitive issues, depression, anxiety, low motivation, lack of physical activity. So most people have become more sedentary because of the pandemic, and reducing physical activity, that is going to lower your endorphins and lower that brain-derived neurotropic factor, which is so important for mood. Actually, regular exercise is the only thing that has studies around improving concentration and mood. I work out every single morning, whether I'm tired or not. It depends on what I feel like doing, but I always put on those tennis shoes and I either go for a walk or I lift hard or I go for a run, something to get my brain moving. And I feel so much more energy in my brain and body for the rest of the day. It helps with depression, enhancing that mental performance and mood. So those are the reasons we're in this state. So what do we do about it? Whether you're a student, whether you're a 1-year-old, a 5-year-old, a teenager, or even, you're in your 80s and you want to improve your focus and your concentration. The good news is there are some supplements you can use. So number one is the accelerated cognoblast. I will not go without this, especially if I have some supercharged podcast to do, or an article to write, or an important meeting, or if I'm just feeling down, right? So accelerated cognoblast is the first of its kind to blend traditional Ayurvedic herbs with smart nutraceuticals and enhanced with scalar frequencies for peak brain performance. All of the accelerated products, that's what we do. We take ancient herbal wisdom from Chinese medicine or Ayurvedic medicine. We combine it with the most cutting edge natural ingredients, and then we enhance it with this layer of scalar frequencies to increase its efficacy. So what does it do? It helps boost your mood. You'll feel happier, more balanced. It enhances focus, sharpens that short-term attention within 30 minutes and concentration. It increases ATP production. I talk a lot about mitochondrial health and ATP. We are only as healthy as our ATP, right? So that ATP is that true cellular energy inside the brain and the body, inside the cells, and that's going to give you that energy, not the coffee or the Monster drink. My daughter was just telling me that everybody at school is drinking some sort of Monster drink or Red Bull at school. They've surpassed the coffee and the tea. They're going after the hard stuff because they're suffering. And they're probably now at the point where they just need that Monster drink just to feel their baseline, right? Well, they're lacking ATP. We want to get that ATP from the natural source without the stimulant, and that's where you get the Cognoblast. It helps reduce anxiety. I've had people come out of the woodwork saying, Sara, I've gotten off my anxiety medication that I have not been able to wean off of in 20 years. It increases motivation, helps you stay driven and productive. It also long-term helps lower Alzheimer's and dementia risk. The ingredients in the supplement have been shown to do that. It neutralizes free radicals. We know that free radicals damage the brain and the body. That's leading to accelerated aging. All of the things that we talked about earlier lead to accelerated aging. We want to neutralize those free radicals. It also reduces inflammation in the brain and the body, supports vital organs. It helps improve circulation. So if you don't have circulation to the brain, how can it work, right? And then it lowers stress. So that perceived stress, the stressors are not going to go away, right? It will just help with the fear or the worry or the anxiety over the stress. It makes you see it in a different light. It increases your energy. Now, I have to tell you, I have a close family member who has done Ritalin and other medications for concentration. When he switched to the Cognoblast, he said, Sara, I feel amazing on it, and it doesn't have the side effects that I would get from Ritalin. He stopped the Ritalin because he didn't like the way it made him feel. He loves the Cognoblast, and you feel it right away. So that is number one. But we have added the scalar frequencies into it. What does that mean? Well, there's lots of articles on the website at SaraBantaHealth.com explaining what scalar frequencies are. We are frequencies, right? When you do an ultrasound or you listen to music, that's frequency. Well, frequency healing has become a new thing, and it's becoming more well known. Well, we use a very powerful scalar machine, and we enhance the supplements with frequencies to increase the efficacy. Frequencies that we've added is to clear the shock out of the body, emotional and physical trauma, enhance brain health, promoting overall brain health, improving memory, and detoxifying the toxins from the pineal and the pituitary gland, decalcifying the glands, and balancing the brain hemispheres. So that is something that is very helpful to make this supplement that much more effective. What are the ingredients that do the magic? Now, before I get into the ingredients, what we are so amazing at Accelerated Health Products is getting the right ratio of the Ayurvedic or Chinese herbs with the cutting edge nutraceutical smart nutrients to create a life force, to get the best bang for your buck. And a lot of supplements will just sprinkle in an ingredient so they can put it on the label. And you have no idea where it's coming from, what the quality is, and how much they're putting in. 95% of supplements out there are junk. And that is why you have to be really careful of where you're getting your supplements. So with the Cognoblast, we have been very careful playing around with the ratios to get the best bang for the buck and the best life force, the best chi that we can get out of the supplement. So number one is magnesium BHB. For all of you keto people out there, you understand what BHB is. It's a natural ketone that helps the brain use fat for fuel and boost cellular energy, that ATP in the mitochondria. Centrophenoxine. This is a nootropic that enhances memory, learning, mood, motivation. Go Google it and the studies around it. It's amazing. It also acts as an antioxidant and neuroprotectant, reduces aging pigments. Of course, that's awesome. That's another bonus on top of what you're doing for your brain, and repairs cellular damage. DMAE, which is known to enhance mood, memory, and brain function, helps prevent the beta amyloid buildup in the brain. And that is linked to those diseases like Alzheimer's and dementia. Ginkgo biloba, this is known as the brain herb. And I'm sure you've heard of that because even my dad at 82 years old has heard of ginkgo biloba. And this improves cognitive function, circulation, mental alertness. Its antioxidants protect against cell damage and free radicals. Bacopa, this is another ancient Ayurvedic herb that enhances memory, attention, and mood, and has antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties. Ashwagandha, I'm sure you've heard of ashwagandha. I love it. It is so versatile. It helps reduce stress and anxiety, can help you sleep, but can also give you energy during the day. It lowers cortisol levels, improves immune system and the nervous system. American ginseng. This enhances mental function, short-term memory, alertness. It is also an adaptogen, just like ashwagandha, that boosts energy, metabolism, and immune system. Reishi mushroom. And before I get into the mushrooms, be very careful of where you're getting your mushrooms. Most mushrooms are full of mold and bacteria that could trigger that histamine response or allergies. And here you are taking a supplement thinking you're doing something good for your body, and it's backfiring, right? Well, we go through our ingredients and we take down that mold and bacteria way lower than any other company, way lower than the standards. And with that, reishi mushroom helps balance the immune system, improve vital organ functions, enhances the mental and emotional balance. Lion's mane, I'm sure you've heard of that one, increases nerve growth factors for the brain. So the brain is actually growing, and anti-aging improves memory and concentration, reduces irritability and anxiety. And then cordyceps, which is known to help with vitality, mental energy, immune function. It's balanced. It's a balanced tonic. What that means is it has long-term cumulative effects for anybody, and really just helps manage the body wherever it is. Frankincense. Frankincense was one of the gifts to baby Jesus for a reason, right? It is very valuable. It boosts cognitive function, increases the synaptic connections in the hippocampus, supports cellular regeneration, and reduces inflammation. So there are some other ingredients in there like rhodiola, which protects the brain, supports stress levels. I love rhodiola. It helps also with your workouts. Theacrine, which helps give you a stimulant effect without the jitters. So it's not caffeine, but it boosts that energy, motivation, focus, and mood. So the accelerated Cogniblast is the number one supplement, whether you're a child or you're an elderly person, wanting to prevent the dementia or Alzheimer's, or if you've got an elderly parent that is already suffering from dementia, this can help prevent any further decline. Next is the Accelerdyne iodine. And I talk about this in almost every issue because there's so much it does. And part of the problem is that we are in an iodine deficient world. It is a major cause of mitochondrial failure in the brain and the body, iodine deficiency. And that's going to lead to cognitive decline, depression, and brain fog. And iodine detoxifies the brain from toxins like the fluoride that I was talking about, with the fluoride in our water and our toothpaste, and the forever chemicals that are fluoro-based, meaning fluoride-based. And all of those things are accumulating in your brain and your body. It's dumbing us down, you guys. Well, it also helps boost the metabolism, support thyroid health. And your thyroid is connected to your mood. Most people on antidepressants, anti-anxiety drugs, actually have low thyroid, but the doctors are not checking their thyroid numbers. They're doing T4 and TSH on the blood test, not the full thyroid panel. You've got to get the full thyroid picture to know what's going on. And if your thyroid's low, you're going to have increased thyroid stress. You're going to have low energy. You're going to have brain fog, lack of concentration, all of that, because there's no juice to the brain. It only makes sense. This will give your brain the energy to tackle daily challenges. So iodine also helps detoxify the brain from and the body from radiation, heavy metals, fluoride, bromide, chlorine. All of that degrades the brain function. If you have iodine values on every cell membrane, okay, every cell membrane has that iodolipid value, iodine and fat value. You can't get the nutrients into the cells and the toxins out of the cells without the proper iodine. That's why I love putting that iodine with the PC, because that PC, phosphatidylcholine, is helping support that cell membrane as well. Now, it also helps increase that ATP inside the cell, inside the mitochondria, increasing the amount of ATP per mitochondria and also increasing the amount of mitochondria per cell. And then on the outside of the cell, it's cleansing the blood to detox the excess estrogens, all of the toxins we're talking about, so the liver can do its job. Our livers are backed up. I've connected it to the fact that my blurred vision can be connected to my liver. Now, that makes sense, right? Your liver cannot process all of these toxins, can't break down the fat and the protein and do its job, can't convert T4 to T3 to let your thyroid do its job. So what's going to suffer? Your physical body's going to suffer, but your brain is. And my vision was going blurry. Every time I would do a liver flush, my vision would come back. So this iodine is one step to helping with that liver on a daily basis outside of the liver cleanses. It helps boost that cellular energy. It's going to increase your metabolism, caloric burn, brain function, physical performance, wound healing, fat burning, that healthy apoptosis. Now, apoptosis, get used to this word. It is very important for you pregnant women and for your teenage kids. Why? Because during pregnancy and teenage years, puberty, you're going through more apoptosis than any other stage in life. So what does it need? It needs iodine. That is why low iodine has been connected to short stature, low IQ, a lot of mental issues with children, and even hormonal imbalances. Iodine is needed to balance out those hormones. And I know you guys know women, men, or even little young girls that are suffering from hormonal imbalances, estrogen dominance, worsened PMS symptoms, PCOS, endometriosis, worsened menopausal symptoms. All of that can be helped with iodine. Iodine is not in our soils anymore. We're not getting it, and the need for it has increased because of all of these toxins. So why choose Acceleradine iodine? I go into depth in detail on the website why Acceleradine iodine is so different than any other iodine. It is number one enhanced with scalar frequencies, but it is the only iodine in monoatomic form, 1I minus. What does that mean? Go back to chemistry class. It is going through the body and looking for a place to find, to sit, and fill those iodine receptor sites. Other iodine supplements are diatomic. They're attached to something else, so the body has to break it apart to use that iodine. And if your body's already weak with low ATP, low energy to do that, you're not going to have a very efficient absorption rate. Most iodine supplements are in that camp, and then also you don't know where they're getting their iodine. A lot of iodine supplements are coming from the Asias, which has been contaminated due to Fukushima and Chernobyl. So iodine, 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 and the Cognoblast. These two are your gangbusters, your 1-2 punch for that brain health and motivation and clarity. And what's so great is once your brain feels good, you have the motivation to make the changes that we're going to talk about in a minute: diet, sleep, exercise, all of that. First, you got to feel good to actually be motivated to make those lifestyle changes. But number 3 for the brain is the accelerated methylene blue. I've been told this has been a game changer, especially when you combine it with the accelerated cognoblast and the accelerated iodine or acceleridine. It has antioxidant properties, combats the oxidative stress. It has neuroprotective benefits. It has been shown, methylene blue, in studies to potentially treat neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's by improving that cellular oxygen consumption and reducing oxidative damage. It boosts mitochondrial function. It enhances that cellular energy production like the cognoblast and the acceleridine iodine. It has antimicrobial properties. It effectively devitalizes bacteria, virus, and fungus. And all of those things can be connected to brain fog and cognitive issues. And some studies have shown that it can improve memory and cognitive function, help with depression, and it increases nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is super important for that circulation and improving the blood flow to the brain and helping relax those blood vessels. It has been used with brain injury treatment. And the reason that accelerated methylene blue is different is that we use 100% pure ingredients, the John Ellis distilled water. So if you're taking any water-based supplement, what's in that water, right? Where's that water coming? Did you know there's dead water and living water? Well, John Ellis distilled water on its own has been shown to kill pathogens through frothing, concentrated heat, and ultraviolet energy, and it maintains a high hydrogen bond angle that supports your immune system. Okay, so then you put it through the grander water system, and this system revitalizes the water by improving its internal structure and energetic quality. And this is more beneficial for the living systems for your body because it's literally living water. And we have put all of this together in one formula. So those are the 3 must-haves if you're suffering from concentration issues, ADHD, all of that. But you can also add in the accelerated fast, which will help get your body into fat burning mode, but also cut those cravings for the sugar and the processed foods that is causing the blood roller coaster, the insulin resistance, the brain inflammation. It helps with increasing those neurotransmitters like GABA, dopamine, serotonin. So when you combine the accelerated fast, you're able to fast a little longer than you want or than you would be able to without it. And then you can focus on the healthy diet that we're going to talk about in a minute. So that would be the 4th one that is priority. So what do you want to do with your lifestyle? Intermittent fast. Some students report more clarity and enhanced concentration when intermittent fasting. I don't recommend students fasting for longer than 14 hours because you're still growing. Now, if you're in your 20s, you're fully grown, that's a different story. But using the accelerated fast will help that intermittent fasting go much easier and take the stressor out of the body. That will help with the autophagy, the cleaning up the disease cells, giving your gut a break so it can start healing. Next, you want to eliminate the sugars, carbs, and processed foods. Just eat real food. And if you can eat whole food that's organic, even better. These foods will cause that gut inflammation, cause your body not even to be able to absorb the nutrients from the good food you're eating, and are going to cause your blood sugar to go up and down. Just that, eliminating these, you're going to see a huge difference in your child. These processed foods and oils damage the intestinal lining, impair the production of those happy-induced hormones, and contribute to the insulin resistance, leaky gut, fatty liver, obesity, but attention issues in those kids. And when my kids were younger, I would sit around with other moms and they'd say, "Oh, I don't want to restrict what my kid eats because I think that's going to cause an eating disorder or a disordered relationship with food. There's a healthy way to do it. You want to teach your child what food does. It's not just a reward. It's an actual fuel for your system. What do you put in your car? Are you going to put Skittles in your car and hope it runs? No, you need gasoline. And if you need gasoline, you don't put diesel in a gas run car, right? You're not going to have energy. And the problem is you give these kids more sugar and more food, and it's not converting into energy. And then they need more of it to actually feel like they're going to get more energy, but there's this chasm between food intake and energy. You need to close that chasm. And those processed foods actually steal ATP from the body. The goal is to increase ATP, increase energy in the brain and the body. So we want to eliminate those sugars and foods, but you got to replace it with something, right? Always ask your child to eat the protein first on their plate, and then they can have whatever they want, right? Because when you eat the protein, you get kind of full and your brain says, okay, I've had enough to eat. I'm not going to have cravings for the sugar. Well, eating the wild animal proteins like bison, lamb, venison, elk, wild fish, organic eggs, those provide the most nutrients on the planet needed for the healthy transmitters, hormones, supporting the metabolism and brain energy. Stay away from the poultry, conventional beef. Those got the amyloid proteins in them, and they also inflame the brain with the inflammatory fats. So we want to focus on the bison, lamb. I've been testing out new companies that deliver to my house the different bison and venison. My kids and my husband don't know the difference, that it's bison or beef. So just cook like you would be cooking beef and the poultry, and you're going to have amazing burgers, meatloaf, meatballs, fillets, ribeyes, all of that great food, and you can eat as much as you want. We got to sleep. So I went through a period over the last 6 months where my sleep was disrupted. My Oura ring score was in the 70s. I've never had that issue before. Everything, the wheels just started falling off. Didn't matter what I ate, what I did for my workout. My sleep score is now back into the 90s, and I feel amazing. You've got to sleep. And many students pull these all-nighters and sacrifice their sleep. You can't get away with it. That's going to compromise concentration, mental performance, and especially if you're young, you need that sleep to grow and to build the muscles and to help the brain. And start moving, exercise. In our household, it was not an option to be in a sport. Not just for the social exposure, to learn how to be a team player, but also move the body. And it is also amazing that my kids decided to row crew, which was an outdoor sport in God's sunshine that was feeding them the vitamin D. And guess what else they're not doing when they're exercising? They're not on their cell phones. And that's causing the anxiety, the depression, and the ADHD. So exercise is a must for your child. It was a non-negotiable in our household. Did they have to be the star player? No, they just have to go to practice. So all of these things are really important for your brain. You can use the supplements, the accelerated iodine, the accelerated cognoblast, and the accelerated methylene blue. Those three will be game changers for your child, for yourself, for your elderly parent. And when you feel good in the brain, your body starts reacting. You start making these better decisions, the lifestyle choices that are only going to continue to move forward one step at a time. Thanks for listening. Our discussion does not have to stop here. If you're feeling lost in the supplement world, I'm here to help. I can put together a personalized protocol for you. Just email me through the website at SaraBantaHealth.com. Follow me on social media at Accelerated Health Products. Join the free health group coaching on Telegram. There's no downside. It is free. You just can sit back, learn, ask your questions, and get to know the other people, which is amazing. Listen to this podcast and all the podcasts anywhere. They are on Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio, and over 100 platforms. And share this episode. So many people are out there suffering right now, and they need help with their depression, with their anxiety, ADHD, There's nothing worse than being a child and in class and feeling like you're dumb, and you're not. It's not your fault. It is not your fault. We are in a toxic world that is causing toxicity in our brain and our body. You can use coupon welcome10 to get 10% off site-wide at Accelerated Health Products. And don't forget, I'm here to walk with you along this journey. I'm live every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. Join me next time. And thanks for joining me this time. Have a great week.